Satellites, our eyes in the sky. They connect us, guide us, and power much of our daily lives. But behind every successful launch lies the shadow of failure. Today, we're diving into the top 5 satellite launch disasters that shook the space industry. Fasten your seatbelts, space fans, because we're about to journey through some of the most dramatic moments in spaceflight history. Let's get started. We begin our countdown with a tragedy that seared into the memory of a generation, the Challenger disaster. It was January 28, 1986. Across America, schoolchildren gathered around television sets, their excitement palpable. They were about to witness history, the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger, carrying the first teacher into space, Krista McAuliffe. 73 seconds. That's all it took for elation to turn to horror. 73 seconds after liftoff, the Challenger disintegrated live on television, claiming the lives of all 7 astronauts on board. The cause? A tiny, seemingly insignificant O-ring. This rubber seal, meant to contain hot gases during the rocket booster's ignition, failed due to the unusually cold temperatures on that fateful morning. The resulting breach led to a chain reaction, tearing the shuttle apart. The nation mourned. The Challenger disaster wasn't just a NASA failure, it was a collective loss for humanity. The investigation that followed led to significant changes in NASA's safety protocols, engineering reviews, and decision-making processes. The Challenger disaster, though a devastating loss, ultimately strengthened the very foundation of space exploration, making future missions safer. Our journey through spaceflight failures takes us now to Russia, specifically the infamous Proton-M disaster of 2013. Imagine this: a rocket, packed with sophisticated technology, ready to deliver its payload into orbit. The countdown reaches 0, engines ignite, and the behemoth ascends. But something is terribly wrong. Instead of a graceful arc towards the heavens, the Proton-M rocket carrying 3 GLONASS navigation satellites began to spin erratically, veering dangerously off course just seconds after liftoff. The inevitable soon followed: a fiery explosion, a plume of smoke painting the sky, and the loss of millions of dollars worth of equipment. What caused this dramatic failure? The answer, as investigations later revealed, was as simple as it was shocking. The rocket's angular velocity sensors, crucial for maintaining proper orientation during flight, had been installed upside down. Yes, you heard that right, upside down. The Proton-M disaster served as a harsh reminder of this fact, leading to renewed scrutiny of manufacturing and testing procedures. Even in the age of advanced technology, we can't escape the consequences of human error. For our next stop, we shift our focus from launch mishaps to a disaster that unfolded before a rocket even left the launch pad. This is the story of Amos 6, a satellite that met its fiery demise not in the vastness of space but on the ground during a routine pre-launch test. Picture this: September 1, 2016, at SpaceX's Cape Canaveral facility. Technicians are prepping the Falcon 9 rocket for an upcoming mission. Its payload, the Amos 6 communications satellite, a $200 million piece of technology meant to beam internet access to remote regions of Africa. Hopes are high, expectations even higher. Then, during a static fire test, a routine procedure to check engine ignition, disaster struck. A sudden catastrophic explosion ripped through the Falcon 9, instantly engulfing the rocket and its precious cargo in flames. The cause? An investigation later pointed to a breach in a helium tank within the rocket's second-stage liquid oxygen tank. The Amos 6 explosion sent shockwaves through the space industry. The incident forced SpaceX to pause its launch schedule, conduct a thorough investigation, and implement crucial safety improvements. The Amos 6 disaster, though a significant setback, ultimately led to a safer, more robust launch system. Our exploration of satellite launch disasters now takes us to the realm of software, where a single error in code can have catastrophic consequences. This is the story of the Ariane 5 rocket's maiden flight, a launch that promised to usher in a new era for European spaceflight. Instead, it became a cautionary tale about the importance of software testing and the unforgiving nature of the final frontier. June 4, 1996, the Ariane 5, a workhorse rocket designed to carry payloads into orbit, stood tall on the launch pad at the Guiana Space Center in French Guiana. On board were 4 scientific satellites, collectively worth a staggering $500 million. 37 seconds. That's all it took for dreams to turn to dust. Just 37 seconds after liftoff, the rocket veered sharply off course, its trajectory becoming increasingly erratic. The onboard self-destruct system, sensing an anomaly, activated, ripping the rocket and its payload apart in a spectacular explosion. The culprit? A software bug. The incident led to a complete overhaul of software development and testing procedures, not just in Europe but worldwide. For our final chapter, we travel back to the very dawn of the space age, to a time when the world watched with bated breath as two superpowers vied for supremacy beyond Earth's atmosphere. This is the story of Vanguard TV3, America's first attempt to launch a satellite into orbit, and a stark reminder that even the grandest ambitions can be humbled by technical difficulties. The year was 1957. The space race was in full swing. The Soviet Union had already successfully launched Sputnik 1, sending shockwaves through the United States and igniting a fierce competition for technological dominance. America needed a win, and they needed it fast. Enter Vanguard TV3. This sleek 3.2-pound satellite, no larger than a grapefruit, carried the hopes and dreams of a nation eager to prove its mettle in the burgeoning field of space exploration. On December 6, 1957 at Cape Canaveral, Florida, the world held its breath as the Vanguard rocket, carrying its tiny but significant payload, prepared for liftoff. And then, disaster struck. Or rather, it didn't quite lift off. The rocket rose a mere 4 feet off the ground before plummeting back down to the launch pad, its engine sputtering and failing. The resulting explosion, captured on live television, sent shockwaves across America and beyond. The Vanguard TV3 launch was a very public, very embarrassing failure for the United States. From the tragic loss of the Challenger crew to the software glitch that doomed Ariane 5, these disasters remind us of one thing: progress is never linear. The journey to space is fraught with risks, with unforeseen challenges lurking around every corner. But it's in those moments of failure, in the ashes of shattered dreams, that we learn the most valuable lessons. These disasters, as devastating as they were, ultimately pushed us to do better. They forced us to reevaluate our assumptions, refine our technologies, and strengthen our resolve. They reminded us that space exploration is not for the faint of heart, that it demands the very best of our ingenuity, our courage, and our resilience. What do you think the future holds for satellite technology? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories about space, science, and beyond. See you in the next one. Keep looking.